Hello. Yes, this series still is going anyway. Welcome to F1 2016 Mobile Career Mode again. On screen now is some gameplay from the last race in Monaco all those days ago. I think it was nearly 2 weeks ago I uploaded that, so apologies for that lengthy break between uploads. I do have a very busy life, but hopefully over the Christmas period I can get back to some sort of an upload schedule. Anyway, this is the crazy ending that occurred. I just lost the way to speak there. That occurred at the end of the last race in Monaco. It was absolutely ridiculous. So if you haven't seen it already, what the hell are you doing? I'm going to spoil it now. Basically, we got a 1-2 and I lost my front wing. So my teammate Daniel Ricciardo won the race and I had to drive the last 2 laps without a front wing, defending from both Mercedes, and we managed it somehow. But anyway, today we have the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. So this is the first time we've raced at this track in this career mode, so I don't know what to expect. But let's get into it.
The cars are set on the grid for what promises to be a thrilling contest here in Baku. Hold on tight then, it's race day for the European Grand Prix.
And as you saw from the starting grid, we start from P22 for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. So basically I crashed on my first lap. I lost my front wing, and then when I went into the pits it basically ended the session. Anyway, it was an interesting quali at the front. Ricciardo on the front row again, and Vettel ahead of Hamilton. So Rosberg has really got a chance today, if he can win, to get right back in this championship fight. Anyway, this is all about damage limitation as we now rev up to 5 red lights for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. And we are underway, and it's been a great start actually compared to the Manor and the 2 Saubers. Heading up towards turn 1, I'm already up into P19, but I'm braking nice and early because the AI are going to be all over the place into turn 1. Look at this, there's a huge roadblock already into turn 1. I'm not sure what's transpiring here. This is absolute madness. I've got a warning for collision with button. However, we are already up into P17 and make that P16. Well, maybe not quite, as we tried to go for a very opportunistic dive bomb there on Jolly and Palmer. But as we head on towards the back straight, Palmer for some reason scraping the wall in the Renault. But we've got the setup, and we're also going to go late on the brakes on Gutierrez and Magnussen. I did not even mean to do that. I only meant to go for the move on the Mexican. Meanwhile, we've got Vettel and Ericsson up ahead. It's been a shocking start for Vettel again. He started 3rd on the grid. He's already outside the top 10. So I don't know what's happened to the 4-time world champion. Meanwhile, that's another double overtake we've got there. And we've already gained 10 places in not even the first sector. So that's absolutely crazy. That's a fantastic start. And now we're going up through the narrow castle section. We obviously can't make any moves through here. So for now we're just going to have to try and follow Carlos Sainz and Valtteri Bottas through the next complex of corners. And we're just heading down towards what's technically the final corner of this circuit. It isn't really, but it feels like it. I've got a great run there on the Toro Rosso of Carlos Sainz. And I'm going to show my overtaking prowess again and go down the inside. No contact made. It's a clean move, and it's a very brave move at 160 odd miles per hour. Anyway, this is the long 2.2 kilometre start finish straight. We're already gaining on Bottas and Kvyat in front of us. It's going to be a drag race now with the Williams, but look at the mirrors. Sainz is making it 3 wide into turn 1. We have to brake to avoid Massa. Kvyat squeezes me over the curbs, but somehow I think we've actually managed to get the move done on both of them. Yes, we have. So we are up into P9, and next up on my hit list is Felipe Massa, who gets a little bit out of shape there, and that means it's now going to be a drag race against the Brazilian down towards the next corner, and I'm going to have to try and brake and slot in behind Romain Grosjean. Massa tried to send it down my inside, but he didn't quite have enough overspeed to get the job done, and we're up into P8 now of this Azerbaijan Grand Prix. And again, we've got to the point where the start finish straight, the long 2.2 kilometre straight, is really going to be the best overtaking spot for me, but look at the run we've got there on Grosjean. I actually had to brake and lift to avoid running into the back of the Frenchman there because he was just so much slower than me. Rosberg still leading the race. Anyway, we've got a fantastic tow, and look at the overspeed we have on the Haas now. Grosjean going defensive. I tried to go up the inside, in the end Grosjean covers me off, and now I'm going to see if there's another way to get past the Haas car in towards turn 1 later on the brakes. And now we have finally got the move done, and on Hulkenberg as well. Hulkenberg looking a bit slow there. We're going to slot in ahead of the German, and now we're up into P6. So it's another double overtake. Now we've got DRS on Fernando Alonso. There's Hulkenberg coming back at me. Look at the right wing mirror. It's going to be 3 wide now, heading up towards turn 3 or 4. What's going on here? But I've broken later, and I've overshot the corner. Oh my god. And now we have to do a 3-point turn because I've just massively overbraked into the corner, and thankfully we have no damage from that. Somehow we have no damage from that. That is extraordinary. That is a huge mistake from me. I've never seen myself do anything like that before. But now the safety car is out. That is a very, very chaotic couple of corners. So first of all, we start by me making a massive mistake, and then the safety car comes out. That is unbelievable. Just the amount of action we've just seen in those 3 corners is crazy. So I wonder who's retired from the race. So we're clearly down to 21 runners, but obviously we don't find out till the end of the Grand Prix who's actually retired. However, it's the end of the lap, so obviously we're about to go to green flag running. Any lap times, of course, set under the safety car are glitched and are not proper. You can see Hamilton set at 1:25. Well, that's just impossible at Baku. So does that mean Rosberg is out of the race? Because he was leading. And I can't really say this when we've still got sort of 10-11 races to go in this season. But if Rosberg was to retire this race, I could already say that his championship campaign could be over. It just feels like Lewis just seems to have much more consistency in this game for some reason. His AI is better, and I don't know why, but if Rosberg was to lose another 25 points, then that might almost kill it. Anyway, we're back to green flag running now. Sainz goes a little bit deep into turn 2 there. This is going to give me the opportunity to pull alongside the Toro Rosso. The Spaniards really trying to fight the senior Red Bull car. It's the 2 family cars going against each other, but with a slightly better straight line speed and brakes on this Red Bull car, I'm able to get the move done. And now to the end of lap number 4, we've got Danny Kvyat and Felipe Massa. Here we go, down the start finish straight. DRS on the second Toro Rosso. We're going to overtake the Russian. However, Massa there goes deep through turn 1, and that's going to give me the opportunity to skip past the Brazilian into P7 already of this Grand Prix. And now I'm going to make my first and possibly only scheduled pit stop. Depends on the tyre wear during this Grand Prix. However, we are going to go onto the soft tyres, so we have enough laps to get to the end of the Grand Prix if necessary, but we can also come in and make it a 2-stop race. Anyway, 2.4 seconds, another decent stop from the pit crew. But where are we going to feed out of the pit lane? We're going to come out in P9 by the looks of it. There's a collision there between Grosjean and Alonso. Fernando Alonso was facing the wrong way, so I've no idea what happened there between the two of them, but the McLaren and the Haas have collided, and that's given me both of their positions out of absolutely nothing. This is now the start of the next lap, and I'm going to be elevated into P5 due to pit stops, and Valtteri Bottas is in P10. But we've lapped him. I've absolutely no idea what's going on with the running order at this point. If we had the safety car to bunch the field up, Bottas is only 5 places behind me and already a lap down. This just seems absolutely ridiculous. And look, we've got more lap cars coming up here. We've got Kevin Magnussen in the Renault, and we've got Marcus Ericsson in the Sauber. We've got yellow flags here as we're approaching the castle section, which I don't know why that's out. In the end, it actually seemed to be out for the rest of the race every time I came through here. I don't know why. Maybe it was just a precaution. Anyway, Ericsson is not getting out of the way. We all know by now that blue flags in this game are just more broken than anything you could imagine. However, I have to really put the squeeze on the Swede there in order to get the move done. And now on to lap number 10, I'm up onto the podium. Out of absolutely nothing, I've just been elevated onto the podium, and look at the minimap. There's no cars around me anywhere, not even going past the start finish straight. And this had me wondering at this point, where the hell is everybody? Okay, there goes Nasser, and there's Rosberg leading the race. I'm in P3, so he has got a massive lead. That was Vettel going past there. He's in P10. Here's the permanent yellow flags I was talking about. But Raikkonen's in P2 and he's 23 seconds up the road. So I'm not really sure I'm going to be able to get any higher than P3. But to finish on the podium from last place would be an achievement. So I'm actually going to make a second pit stop because I've got the gap to Hulkenberg. And it just makes sense to see if we can go for the fastest lap. I know you don't get a bonus point for this. But I just thought it would be interesting to see. However, 2.2 second stop, that's another great stop from the pit crew. On leaving the pits, we're somehow up into P2. How has that happened? How are we now ahead of Raikkonen? That is honestly the most bizarre glitch I've ever seen. But I'll take it, you know, at the end of the day, Hamilton is behind us somewhere. He might be out of the race because I haven't only just noticed this now. But we're down to 20 runners in this Grand Prix. So we've got Bottas there who's in P6. So there is some sort of life left in this race. There are some drivers, but Bottas seems to have just had a crash. But this is honestly the most bizarre thing I've ever seen in my life. Where is everybody? Just watch the minimap. There are absolutely no cars anywhere at all. Gutierrez is now on the podium. So how come Rosberg is still in this race? Is he even visible? I haven't seen any other cars even on the mini-map. This was my fastest lap attempt. It was a pretty good lap. Obviously, I realised that the glitched lap times had taken place under the safety car. Rosberg, 1 minute 2 seconds down the road? But what? Wait, how does that work? We just saw the sign that said Rosberg was a minute down the road, and all of a sudden, I'm leading the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Gutierrez still on the podium, but I've gone deep into this corner again. This is the one that called me out earlier. And in quali, and I've lost the front wing. Oh my god. However, at this stage, this is going to sound crazy, but even while I was recording, I thought that we still might be able to win because I haven't seen any cars anywhere in ages. Are the AI just invisible? Is this a game-breaking glitch? Is this just Baku? This is just the strangest thing I have ever seen in my life. We seem to be the only man on track, yet it still says the AI are there. So, I've no idea what's going on at this point. However, it's just like Monaco all over again, because nothing else is going to happen in this Grand Prix. This means, from last on the grid, we are going to come through to win our second race of the season in the most bizarre of circumstances. We win the first ever Azerbaijan Grand Prix from last on the grid without a front wing. What an insane race that was. We finished a minute and 15 seconds ahead of Rosberg. Raikkonen pipping Gutierrez to the podium. Ericsson a massive P5 for Sauber. Hamilton and Vettel only 6th and 7th. But look, this was just a crazy race. And look at this now. The last runner in the race, Palmer, was 16 minutes down on my finish time. And in the end, unfortunately, it was my teammate Daniel Ricciardo and Pascal Wehrlein who retired from the race. Ricciardo bringing out the safety car. But we now have a 17-point lead in the Drivers' Championship with that race heading into Austria. We can afford a bad race now and get away with it. And that's not something I thought I would be saying, especially not so early in the season. And we're still bridging the gap to Mercedes and the constructors as well. That is, quite frankly, ridiculous. We were a minute and 16 seconds ahead of Rosberg, who we were nearly 5 minutes ahead of Raikkonen, who was 3rd. We were nearly 7 minutes ahead of Hamilton, who was 6th. So the AI must have been invisible or like 4 laps down or something. That's crazy. I've never seen that before in this game. Anyway guys, that's it for today's video. Please be sure to like, share and subscribe if you're enjoying this series. I certainly am very excited for the next episode. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram and join my Discord. Both links are in the description below. And I'll see you guys all next time. Goodbye.